grade, but the same coursework just to catch up. That is the case for millions of college freshmen all across the country. And instead of moving on, they are spending a good deal of the first year just trying to stay in college and catch up with the material. Beverly Stewart is the president and founder of Back to Basics Learning Dynamics, and she joins us this morning to explain this high school college overlap. Beverly, nice to have you here.
Thanks.
So how big of a problem is this really?
It really is big. In the stats that I read across the country, between 11 and 71% of the students were reported to have to take remedial courses in college, which is huge. 11
to 71 is a pretty big gap.
Well, those were different numbers from different states.
Sure.
But that is a large number.
Also kind of tells you the state of our education system, state by state, doesn't it?
It does, right.
Yeah.
It's not uniform.
Okay. So what are some of the reasons when we take a look at where are the big issues?
It can be a number of things. Number one, it could be a non-identified learning problem. The student just went along and no one really identified it, and then finally they found out they had a learning disability, or they just learned very differently.
Kind of got lost in the shuffle.
Right.
Okay.
It could be students that get passed on year after year because the school can't keep the student in school more than, in the same grade 2 or 3 times.
Right.
I mean, 3 or 4 times you keep them in to repeat a grade, but at some point they have to be moved along. And it can just be the students not caring much about school and no one really getting on top of them.
You still have to, though, make those test scores, right, to get into college.
Right, but that's only a fairly recent act. You know, that's about 5 years old. So if we're talking seniors, you know, that came about in 7th grade. So really, look at all the years from kindergarten to 7th where maybe they were being passed, and that's where those basics are. So if it wasn't addressed then, you know, it's really going to snowball, and the gap gets wider.
When you look at Oprah, for instance, she's been doing a couple of big specials with Bill and Melinda Gates talking about the state of our education system, and it's really pretty graphic and scary.
It is.
When you look at it. What are some of those big places where we're really falling down?
Well, again, it comes back to basics. Really, reading and language arts and math are the crux of everything. Everything builds on that. In other words, you can't read your social studies or science book if you don't have good reading skills and study skills. You know, you can't do anything related to math like chemistry or other sciences if you don't have basic math skills. And honestly, back in my day, and maybe yours, they were called the 3 R's, reading, writing, arithmetic.
Sure.
You know, and it really still is. And we're just apparently in some ways not getting that across in a solid fashion in the younger years. We have large class sizes, we have stressed teachers, stressed parents. Parents aren't at home as much to back up what the school has done during the day. It really is a societal problem.
It is a societal problem. Yesterday I literally was in the gas station and they have the vending machines that have the sodas in it. And somebody had come up to me, took a soda out, and said, is this a Diet Pepsi? Because they couldn't read whether it said diet on it or not. And I thought, gee, you know, we really are falling behind in so many different areas, and it perpetuates into your adult life.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about the 2 groups we're dealing with here, really, to try to solve what we can today, anyway. The first is those that are in high school right now. What do parents need to know as their child's going into 11th, 12th grade?
Right. Okay, honestly, it's not too late now to do something in the summer. It doesn't mean that a month is going to remediate.
Sure.
But don't waste the whole summer, really. We shouldn't be 3 months with no academics. So at least try to start some tutoring or have the student reading every day at home. Something needs to be done right now, preferably some kind of intensive tutoring. Then carry that into the school year. Get the students' confidence up, get the skills up. Don't start the year on a down note already and then get behind as the 9 months go. Especially students that are preparing, that want to go into college, they really have a year to try to catch up as much as possible, and they really need to utilize that.
How important is it also just to sit down and really say, all right, let's face the facts. Where are we really? Where is my student?
Oh, that needs to be
where's
done.
my child?
Yes.
Where is your reading level? So that they can really assess that, and instead of kind of continue to fake year by year, really just stop and get real with it.
Yes. I know we do formalized testing at our center, Back to Basics, but all over the country there are licensed psychologists that actually do psychoeducational testing.
Yeah, just
that's who does it.
Say, okay, where do we have to get to?
And then you have a baseline at least.
Okay.
To where they are.
Now, for students who are now off to college and graduation is over, what will they need to do in the next couple of months and even the next year?
Right. Again, if they can do some work this month, please do. Really look at whatever is offered at that college. You know, there are peer tutors, there are writing centers, there are other types of tutors that the student can partake, and it doesn't cost anything or it's very minimal. Go to their professor. Professors have office hours. There are usually teaching assistants. I mean, there usually are a lot of resources now at most colleges and universities, and the student and the parent really need to seek those out now so that they're ready. Again, don't wait until November when you've already missed a bulk of that semester and then try to catch up. Really starting early, being persistent, working hard, really staying on top of it. And as you say, recognizing the problem, and then dealing with it. And it can be okay.
Beverly, whether you are 6 years old or 60 years old, is it ever too late to learn to read?
No, absolutely not. No, we have worked with students that are older adults. We had a woman in her 70s, and she said, "You just opened up every world for me I never had."
Yeah.
It's never too late, ever.
Yeah, good. All right, Beverly Stewart, nice to have you here.
Thanks.
Beverly Stewart is the president and founder of Back to Basics Dynamics. Well, there is much more still to come here on Your Morning. Stay with us.